Okay, na? So Gmail with Internet Explorer, Amazon with Firefox, Yahoo with Chrome, and Flipkart with Opera. So all different browsers and different pages can be tested in using this called as a parallel testing. Called as a parallel testing. So those two are possible. Now, when you come to the framework designing, we are going to design. There are different kinds of frameworks where we can design. One is using keyword framework. Second one is data-driven framework. And the third one is keyword framework. And other are also there, like linear framework, modular framework. These are all. But usually we used to work with these are the most important frameworks where we are going to design your application. Okay. So those three frameworks, we are going to discuss it. Now, in the same way, the third component is WebDriver. The third one is WebDriver. Now, when you come to this part, the difference is it is a non-server based tool. So that means that here you no need to connect any server. Directly it will be interacted with the browser and the page. This is a non-server based tool. You may ask me, sir, what is a server? They use one jar file called as selenium server standalone 2.53.0 jar file, which you are going to connect to the command prompt. That I'll say you, no problem. So we are going to connect this command prompt that finally it will act as a server. Once you connect this server, then you can be interacted with the browser and the page. So this is a server base. Now in this WebDriver, it doesn't require any server. So next. Now, this tool is used to test your functional and regression test. Next, using WebDriver, we can test any number of pages, browsers in a single operating system with the latest version. That will support older version, and this will WebDriver will support the latest version of your operating system. The reports can be generated in the form of XML file, where you have been report generated in the RC also the same version, and reports will be in the form of XML file. And here we are going to design the framework, which are in the form of TestNG or any methodology you can use, either JUnit or TestNG frameworks. Here also the same thing we are doing out the keyword framework, data-driven framework, and the keyword framework, right? And here we are doing the cross-browser testing and parallel testing. So single application can be tested in different browsers, and different applications can be tested in different browsers at a time. Same process will be done. Only the difference is this is the latest version, and one more thing is it is a non-server based tool. The last component is called as a grid. We'll call it as a grid. Actually, when you come to this grid, this is a server based tool. Mean why it is server is using grid, you can run the RC scripts as well as WebDriver scripts parallelly. That is, this is a server based tool which is used to test web applications. Using grid, we can run RC scripts as well as WebDriver scripts parallel. That is, this tool supports both older version as well as latest version. It supports the older version as well as latest version. Older version is RC scripts you can run, and the latest version WebDriver scripts also can be run in this grid itself. This tool is used to test your functional and regression testing. Using WebDriver, We can test any number of pages in multiple browsers in a single operating system with, it's not a single operating system, in multiple operating systems, That is older version as well as latest version. For example, Gmail, Yahoo, Reddit, Flipkart, multiple browsers, multiple pages. Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome, multiple browsers. Windows 7, Windows 8, Mac, Unix, at a time you can run different pages in different browsers in multiple operating system, can be tested using grid. Applications, browsers, and configurations. Gmail, Internet Explorer, Windows 7. Similarly, Yahoo, Chrome, Windows 10. Similarly, next, Amazon page, in Firefox, in Mac. So this is the how you work it. Got it? Any doubts? Anybody? Anybody is having doubts?
No.
No, sir, clear.
Is it clear? So this is a grid actually. So these are all 4 components where you're going to work on this part. The most is here in grid, we are going to connect the node and the hub. How you are going to run your application in a single operating system, and the same applications, how you are going to test in your multiple operating system. So we are going to connect the server through the node and hub, and using that node and hub, we are going to run your applications parallelly, using parallel. If you want to work with this component, first of all, it requires some programming language. The default programming language for Selenium is Java. If you know the core Java, then you can test any number of applications. If you know Python, you can test your applications. So different components will have the different programming language for generating the script and testing the application. Now, we should have to know the first part is core Java. First of all, we need to have your core Java. So what are the topics will be covered in the core Java? First, introduction. Next, features of Java. Next, what are the applications we can design by using core Java? Next, we'll go with the syntax, basic syntax of writing the syntax of program using Java. Next, what are the different kinds of keywords? Next, user inputs. Next, we are going to learn variables, constants. Next, data types, arrays, exceptional handling, loops. Next, conditional statements. Next, OOPS concepts like polymorphism, constructors, inheritance. Next, abstract classes. Next, okay, inheritance. Next, polymorphism, constructors, abstract.
Encapsulation is
Next,
missing.
encapsulation. These are the things. things which are going to learn in this. Next, we are going to learn. Next one is file operations. File operations. Next, we are going to learn string operations. Next, mathematical operations. Okay, mathematical operations. Next, collections. So these are the things which we are going to learn in your core Java. Got it? So once you've done your core Java, then we'll start with working with the WebDriver. So first of all, how to work on, mean that first we'll go with the introduction to WebDriver. What are the features of WebDriver? Components in WebDriver. That's component with locators and methods in WebDriver. After that, how you are going to test your applications in different browsers. Later on, we are going to work on how we are going to count the number of links, drop-down elements, radio buttons, nothing but options, option buttons, and checkboxes. In the first part. Second, we are going to learn what do you mean by web table. After the web table, we'll go with what do you mean by actions, like right-click operation, drag and drop, slide bar, progress bar, those things we are going to learn actions. Now after that, we are going to learn alert messages, windows, frames. Next, we are going to learn implicit function, explicit function, thread dot sleep. Next, scroll functions. Screenshots. So those things we are going to learn using. Next, we are going to learn how we are going to create your first test engine. Annotations. Annotations is nothing but methods. What are some methods? Operations are there? Before method, after method, before class, after class, before suit, after suit, before test, after test. Some annotations are there. We are going to learn after that. List after that, we're going to read. Next, Apache POI 3.17 jar file. So using this, we can read the data, we can write the data, and we can append the data. Next, reading, writing, and appending. Next, data-driven frameworks. Data-driven framework. We're going to learn data-driven framework. Next, keyword framework. Later on, we are going to learn. Next, last one is hybrid framework. These are the things which you are going to learn. Next, after the day frameworks, we are going to learn Maven project. Next, GitHub. Finally, we are going to learn how we have one more thing we need to learn. Here is, before going to that hybrid frameworks, there are two more things to learn. One is property list. Data provider, page object model. So these things, we are going to learn this. Yeah. Now, Maven project, GitHub, and just basic structure of Jenkins. So these are the things which we are going to learn in your WebDriver. These are all different concepts. Just to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So these are the topics which are going to learn in WebDriver. So to go with WebDriver, we should have installation process that I will say to you. How to install your Java, JRE, JDK, next Selenium jar files. After that, I'll show you how to install your Eclipse. How to install your Eclipse. So this is the installation process to show. So this is the procedure to be followed. So meanwhile, first I'll start with the core Java. It will take 10 to 15 days. So once the core Java is over, then I'll start working with the WebDriver. WebDriver later on, we'll go with the, next we'll go with the grid, how we are going to run your application in a single operating system. And using the grid, I'll show you how to generate the reports, extend reports, I'll show you. Once it is over, then we'll go, I'll show the basic theoretical part of your RC and IDE. So we are not using IDE and RC. It is outdated version. You mean concentrating on WebDriver and grid. Is it okay, all of you? It's
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So this is a part of your WebDriver. So theoretical part. So mostly you should have to be within in fingertips practical knowledge. You can't skip up, but manually we mug up everything. But in automation, you can't mug up the things, right? So you should be in a practical knowledge. Each and every concept. For example, if I'm saying on Amazon page, you are in a position to work the same application in different browsers, in different browsers also. Okay. There are many functions are there. You should have to remember those functions. Got it? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. We'll discuss it then. Anybody?
No.
I'm waiting. I'm not responding. Nobody is responding except 2 members, I think. 2 or 3 member voice and this. What about others?
No, sir.
No. It's clear?
Yes, clear, sir.
Okay. So daily your recordings and your Word document will be sent to you. Go through that, and every weekend you'll have one mock test, object to type questions. Whatever the topics have been covered in this week, you'll be having a test in the Saturday or Sunday. You may have a test. So it's an online test. You can just send the question paper, or else you can write it on Friday evening only. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.